Okay, so how do we write formulas from names? So as the first example, aluminum sulfide. All right, so this name is implying that you're dealing with an ionic compound. I mean, aluminum and sulfide, a metal and nonmetal together, they must be charged to be stuck together. And so you've got aluminum. Now that is going to have a 3+ charge. You know this is in group 3A, and so therefore we'll lose 3 electrons before having a noble gas configuration. And then sulfide, you know, has a 2- charge. It needs to gain 2 electrons to have a noble gas configuration. And so considering that, and considering that the charges of these ions must combine together in a way so that there is no overall charge left, so that all charge is neutralized out, that means that we can just kind of do a crisscross here. Actually, if you have 2 aluminum ions and 3 sulfide ions, then you'll have 2 3+ charges, and you'll have 3 2- charges, and having a +6 and a -6, the overall charge ends up equaling out to 0. And so this is a very simple case. Try another one. How about calcium oxide? All right, so calcium, if it's an ion, it has a 2+ charge, and oxygen, if it's an ion, it has a 2- charge. So you might consider a crisscross here. But when you crisscross these numbers, that gives you Ca2O2. But you see, we like to use a simplest whole number ratio of ions versus each other. And so a simplest whole number ratio is not 2 and 2, but instead just 1 and 1. And so calcium oxide is just 1 calcium, 1 oxide. It's just CaO. Next, what if we're dealing with polyatomic ions? So first, ammonium sulfate. Now, ammonium is NH4 + 1, and sulfate is SO4 2-. And so again, you want to do a crisscross. You see, you'll be needing 2 ammoniums, 2 +1 charges to balance out this -2 charge of sulfate. And so you want to say that there are 2 ammoniums, but you don't just put a 2 right here. That would imply that you have 42 hydrogens. But instead you want to say that you have 2 ammoniums. And so we'll use parentheses around polyatomic ions but anytime that there's 2 or more of them. And then we're only going to have 1 sulfate, so we'll leave it as is, SO4. Okay? In the next example, calcium hydrogen carbonate. All right, so calcium is 2+ charge, and hydrogen carbonate, that is just a polyatomic ion. And so the polyatomic ion we're talking about is HCO3 - 1. And so again, we can do our crisscross. So we can get Ca parentheses HCO3 parentheses 2. Again, anytime that you have 2 or more of a polyatomic ion like this, you need to have parentheses around it, because it's not that we'll have 32 oxygens, but that we'll have 2 hydrogen carbonates. Thanks for watching, guys.